From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, October 5th. Get your rain gear before you head out today. A lot of rain off and on throughout the day. Heavier rain this afternoon, even some thunder is possible. The bulk of the rain, it looks to be out of the state by late tonight. Highs are going to be a lot cooler than we've had the last many days. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. This morning, police say one person is wounded and officers have detained someone after an early morning shooting in Indianapolis. It happened sometime after 5 this morning on Udell Street near 29th and MLK. IMPD says the victim is stable, but investigators haven't released any details about what happened or how the person they have detained may have been involved. IMPD now says a young person is one of the victims of a deadly double shooting. It happened sometime before 9 last night near 40th and Arlington. IMPD says officers found a man and a juvenile. They're not yet giving the age. Medics pronounced the man dead and took the younger victim to the hospital in critical condition. Investigators tell us they don't yet have any suspects in the shooting and will need the community to help solve the case. Also breaking, an early morning fire leads to injuries to 2 firefighters. The fire was at a house said to be vacant on Oxford Street on the east side of Indianapolis. IFD says the first call went out shortly after 3 this morning. The initial fire led to damage to the home next door, too, forcing one man out. Officials described the injuries to the firefighters as slight. A judge has approved the release of the Noblesville Middle School shooter into his parents' custody. The judge said yesterday the 18-year-old can leave juvenile detention in Hamilton County because he can no longer be legally held for crimes he committed while a minor. As we've reported, police say that he shot a classmate and teacher in 2018 when he was 13 years old. Court documents show he'll be closely monitored by GPS. He also cannot use computers without a probation officer's supervision, nor visit any college or school campuses without prior approval. Baltimore police are looking for 4 people possibly connected to the mass shooting at Morgan State University. The department released video late last night from near the crime scene. Police didn't say exactly where the video was recorded or why they want to identify the people in the video. Investigators now think the shooting started as a fight between 2 groups during homecoming celebrations Tuesday night. They say all 5 people wounded were innocent bystanders. The university says all other homecoming events and classes are canceled for the rest of the week, including Saturday's football game. Police say all 5 victims will survive. They say more than one person had a weapon at the scene, though investigators are still analyzing ballistics. The House of Representatives is effectively frozen this morning as lawmakers struggle to figure out what they can do. Interim Speaker Patrick McHenry adjourned the chamber yesterday afternoon after a day without action. So far, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan have announced they're running to replace Kevin McCarthy. Some Republican lawmakers want the hard-right conservatives who led the effort against McCarthy to be punished.
I don't see how they can really be part of a conference when they stand on they come on the inside, listen to what's going on, and go outside and lob bombs in the middle. It's a waste of time having conversations with these people.
House Republicans plan to hold a forum for would-be speakers on Tuesday. Community leaders in Tippecanoe County are speaking out and to IT-Mate about concerns over the LEAP project in Boone County. They claim there's a lack of transparency from the state about how water will get to the site. IT-Mate senior investigative reporter Richard Essex went to the source.
2 West Lafayette City Council members say the state and the city of Lebanon are trying to secretly take a valuable resource from them, water.
Of taking large amounts of water to support industrial development in a place where there is no water, and to do it so secretly and without any consultation, it's really just not acceptable.
The Indiana Economic Development Corporation has signed a contract for almost $10 million for the design of a water pipeline to feed the LEAP project in Boone County. Lebanon Mayor Matt Gentry says the city has the water capacity for the Eli Lilly and Company facility under construction, but not for the entire LEAP project.
When I first met with the governor back in March last year, right, we were saying, hey, water is a concern of ours. And they said, well, we know we have options that we can explore, and the idea is to use economic development to solve the water problems.
According to a study paid for by IEDC, water from an aquifer under the Wabash River could supply the LEAP project with water. Mayor Gentry says the city of Lafayette and West Lafayette only use a fraction of the water in their area.
I mean, abundant water resource, and it's all in one community. And, you know, I think the IDC is trying to take a bigger approach of saying what makes sense for the entire state of Indiana.
Engineers determined the aquifer could supply up to 30 million gallons a day to the LEAP project without draining neighboring wells. For reference, according to the Purdue University website, the university uses 85 million gallons of water a month.
Most of the questions that we have as a community are not being answered. Why would you make a development and try to recruit companies that require lots of water to a place without any water? It just doesn't really make any sense. And why was there such extensive secrecy about the project?
Republican candidate for governor Eric Doden told All Indiana Politics that he's concerned about the lack of transparency with the LEAP project and the water.
You know, having water come from a smaller community like Lafayette and West Lafayette, you know, costing billions of dollars to bring it down, those are concerns that we have.
Indiana does not regulate the ownership of water like other states. Water in the Wabash River and the aquifers below are considered a state resource. Any company or person can take pretty much what they want without much regulation from the state. Councilmember Sanders says the city of West Lafayette is not going to let their water go easily.
I always say, well, if you don't say anything, if you don't participate in the opposition, then it will go forward automatically. I can't tell you that we are going to have the outcome that we want, but if we do nothing, we will certainly not get the outcome we want.
In Indianapolis, Richard Essex, Wish TV, ITMate.
State leaders report a troubling trend in school attendance. According to a new report from the Department of Education, nearly 1 in 5 Indiana students were chronically absent last year. The state defines chronic absenteeism as missing at least 10% of school days, or 3 weeks. The Department of Education released a graphic. It compares the most recent numbers to previous years. It shows that last year's school rate was down slightly from the year prior, but still drastically higher than the last full school year before the COVID-19 pandemic. State leaders say the numbers have real-world consequences.
This has an impact, and our overall results and whether or not, you know, kids are going to be able to read. Yeah. And when we look at that K1, 2, 3 data, they can't be absent that many times.
According to a study in Utah, students who were chronically absent for 1 year from grades 8 through 12 were 7 times more likely to drop out of high school. The Biden administration is forgiving an additional $9 billion in student loan debt. The president announced the new round of federal student loan forgiveness yesterday. The announcement comes as payments restart after a 3-year pause during the COVID-19 pandemic. The White House says the move will help 125,000 borrowers. According to the White House, a total of 3.6 million borrowers will have $127 billion in debt wiped out since Biden took office. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is not taking in new animals right now. Officials say the shelter is dealing with an unidentified bacteria strain. IACS says staffers are giving antibiotics to the animals, and Purdue is testing samples to see what the bacteria is. The shelter says animals will still be available for adoption during the timeout and intake, which they hope to lift Monday. I-70 is about to get a facelift in eastern Indiana. The state says it will make the corridor safer and more modern. The Revive I-70 project will improve more than 20 miles of road from Richmond to west of State Route 1. That includes adding a new lane, updating interchanges, and replacing pavement. Neighbors who live nearby also say they would like to see safety measures put in place. Outside management group Parsons Corporation is leading the project. There's no estimated cost yet. Parsons is in the process of selecting a bid. Construction is set to begin by the end of next year. No sign yet of the monkey on the lam in an Indianapolis neighborhood. Its name is Momo. IMPD says people have spotted it in different places in the Iron Gate neighborhood off Mithofer Road. A neighbor reports seeing Momo drinking beer out of a trash can. IMPD says the animal may have hurt someone, but officers aren't giving specifics about how. If you see Momo, police say you should not approach him, but to call Animal Care Services instead at 317-327-1397. The Light for Levi Foundation kicks off 2 days of fundraising today. For 3 years, Wish TV has followed Levi Chisholm's recovery from a near drowning and the worldwide response to his story. Wahlburgers in Carmel is hosting a fundraiser today. Paul Wahlberg will be at the fundraiser tonight for the second year in a row. He told us last year he knew this was something he could get behind. Megan and Scott Chisholm founded the Light for Levi Foundation to spread awareness about brain injuries after a near-tragic accident in 2020. Their 2-year-old twins fell into a pool. Sister Lainey made a full recovery, but brother Levi suffered severe brain damage, but continues to recover. Now, the foundation is raising money to help families facing similar challenges. Today and Friday, anyone can join the cause. The welcome reception dinner is tonight at 6 at Wahlburgers. Tickets are $50, and people under 21 can attend for free. Then tomorrow, there's a golf tournament at the Eagle Creek Golf Club in Indianapolis. Online registration is still open. Wish TV has all of that information at wishtv.com. Indianapolis International Airport says to get there 2 hours early if you are flying as more schools hit fall break this week. Airport officials say the next 5 days will be its busiest stretch ever, with an average of more than 19,000 passengers each day. Many of the flights are early, with about 20% of the Friday, Saturday, and Monday departures happening before 6 in the morning. Another peak time is between 3 and 5 each afternoon. And today, classic cars return to the state fairgrounds. Mecum has added a fall show inspired by the continued growth in consignments and sales at Dana Mecum's original Spring Classic, an annual destination for collector car hobbyists each May in Indianapolis. Mecum Auctions established the Indy Fall Special to cater to the strong demand of its customers and fans. This year's Fall Special is October 5th through 7th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. An estimated 1,000 American muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, exotics, hot rods, customs, and more are set to cross the auction block. Also today, it is the 32nd annual Heartland International Film Festival. Organizers say more than 120 movies will be featured. They say you can see special Indiana-related films and new releases at 5 theaters across the Circle City. It runs through October 15th. Today, a memorial service for Senator Dianne Feinstein. Scheduled speakers include Vice President Kamala Harris and Senate Majority Chuck Schumer. This morning, the late California Democrat's body lies in state in a flag-draped casket inside San Francisco's City Hall. Yesterday offered a chance for mourners to file by to pay respects. Dianne Feinstein died Friday. She was 90 years old. Former President Donald Trump is appealing the fraud ruling against him. A New York judge ruled last week Trump and his co-defendants were responsible for persistent and repeated fraud. It comes as the former president faces trial on several other claims in the state attorney general's lawsuit. Accountants were on the witness stand yesterday. Attorneys for the attorney general are seeking to show they relied entirely on information supplied by Trump and his company. Trump's legal team is trying to pin blame on the accounting firms. And to business headlines, a Lilly executive who oversaw development of Mounjaro, its blockbuster diabetes medicine that's also used for weight loss, will retire at the end of the year. Mike Mason will step down as executive vice president of diabetes and obesity. Diabetes drugs are a huge driver of Lilly's growth, and Mounjaro is also being prescribed for weight loss. He'll be replaced by Patrick Johnson, who will also continue in his role as president of Lilly USA. Home ownership is out of reach for millions of Americans. Real estate data provider Adam examined 572 U.S. counties and determined that median home prices in 99% of those areas are out of reach for the average income earner, who makes about $71,000 a year. Another breakfast staple is getting more expensive. Orange juice future prices hit a record high at $3.56 on Tuesday after hitting a record closing high of $3.55 on September 27th. Since 2020, the cost of frozen orange juice concentrate has soared 270% as weather and disease put citrus in short supply. Disney is discounting children's tickets at its domestic theme parks for a limited time early next year. The price cuts come as the company's U.S.-based parks have seen a slowdown in attendance and hotel room occupancy. Starting October 24th, parents can purchase children's tickets valid for kids aged 3 to 9 for the California-based Disneyland Resort for as low as $50 each. Tickets can be used between January 8th and March 10th of next year. And Michael Jordan becomes first athlete to rank among America's 400 wealthiest people, according to Forbes. Forbes estimates that the Basketball Hall of Famer's net worth is $3 billion. He earned billionaire status in 2015, partly through his endorsement deal with Nike, but also through lucrative contracts with Hanes, Gatorade, and Upper Deck. This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.